Hello, everybody, from the streets of Jerusalem, the holy city, the eternal, undivided capital of the state of Israel and the Jewish people. And I had to share with you this, I'm currently visiting here at the moment. I want to share with you this clip that I just saw. It had me in stitches. This is Kasparian, who is she's sort of a leftist, neo-leftist activist. And she was on Bill Maher's podcast, and Bill Maher basically asked her, if you had to pick one city in the Middle East to live in, where would you pick? Now, she's obviously very hostile to Israel, and she got herself in a bit of a pickle. And the reason is because there is this underlying tension between people in the West who are leftists, and they believe in egalitarianism and feminism and all these kind of things. But they also advocate for Muslims and the Muslim world against the West, against Israel, with the obvious potential issue that if they were to live there, or, you know, you have like gays living in Gaza, as they say, then they would be murdered. And yet they don't really seem to see that or appreciate that. So have a watch of this hysterical clip, and then I want to see you on the other side for some further thoughts.
You got to go live in the Middle East. Where would you live? You can pick one city, any city. You can, as far away as, say, Pakistan. You could live in Karachi. You could live in Cairo. You could live in Amman, Jordan. You seem to love Lebanon. I mean, Beirut's nice when the bombing's not happening and the assassinations have stopped. Or you could live in Syria. I hear that's wonderful in the summer.
Well, we now have Al-Qaeda terrorists leading Syria.
Or the Houthis, I'm sure, would make room for you.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv, or the West Bank, Ramallah, I think is wonderful for a little, in the fall, it gets lovely. Where would you live? Where do you think you'd be comfortable in that dress?
I'm sure it would not be comfortable in this dress in any of the various Middle Eastern countries that have been destabilized by
You're not
United States.
You're not really blaming it on Whitey.
Listen.
Are you? You're blaming Islam on Whitey?
I'm not blaming Islam on Whitey.
But what you're saying is we destabilized, that's why you can't wear that dress?
Did we not destabilize?
Wait a second.
We were funding terrorist organizations in Syria during the Syrian civil war. Starting under the Obama administration.
That's why
Did that not destabilize Syria?
No, what's destabilized?
There's a literal Al-Qaeda terrorist.
We're talking about your dress.
Oh,
why?
It looks good. I know it looks good.
You're saying you can't wear that dress in Syria because of Whitey destabilizing?
I didn't say that.
Okay, that's what it said. Okay, great.
But the United States did destabilize various Middle Eastern countries. Are you going to deny that?
I asked about the dress, and you went right to destabilize. So is that why you couldn't wear that dress? Why couldn't you walk down?
You want me to talk about jihadism and Islam?
Why won't you?
Listen, I mean,
Why?
I don't believe in jihadism, which is why I'm furious that the United States just had a freaking Al-Qaeda terrorist in the White House.
It's not just jihadism that is preventing you from wearing that dress. Are you saying every Muslim is a jihad? I don't think they are.
Bill.
Okay, why can't you wear that dress?
Let's focus for a second.
No, you won't answer this question.
I'm not going to defend that religion, like that extremist religion at all.
Why can't you just say?
That's not what this discussion is about. This discussion is about
it's very much what it's about.
Ordinary, innocent human beings that I don't want to be slaughtered, regardless of what their religion is.
No one does. Then stop starting wars.
It's that simple.
Stop attacking Israel. It'll stop.
Okay.
The fact that you can't answer that question.
What's the question?
You keep doing that.
What's my question? What's your question?
Because you don't really want to hear it.
No, go ahead.
If you could live anywhere.
Right.
From North Africa all the way to, we left out Uzbekistan. You could live there. Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, Riyadh.
None of the above.
And,
none of them.
Or Tel Aviv.
None of them. Literally none of them.
But if you had to choose one, you would. So to you, Karachi, Pakistan, and Tel Aviv, same thing.
I would figure something out, but
that's powerful, not as smart.
So absolutely hilarious clip, and I think you can see clearly her. I think there is an intellectual dishonesty, the fact that she's avoiding answering that question. But you know, aside from the fact that we all know that there are obvious contradictions in the leftist ideology when they're supporting the Muslim world, and yet many of their supposed values contradict what the Muslim world prizes. But putting all that to one side, I actually wanted to say something else, which is that I think we also, by the way, make a mistake in trying to say that Israel is just another outpost of the West, and therefore the left should, or people that support the West should support Israel. It's true, much of our values overlap. It's true that the West is based on so many of the ideas the Jewish people brought to the world. However, we are not one and the same. And you know, it's interesting because when we think about how we're going to resolve the tension between the West and the Muslim world, Israel actually can and will, I believe, play a pivotal role in that, believe it or not. For as long as we insist that we are just an outpost for the West, then it's the West, it's the Christian Western world or secular world versus Islam. But you know, Israel actually, its destined role in this world is to be a light to the nations, a bridge between all different peoples, all different ways of viewing things. Because right now we have a deeply religious Islamic world versus a secular West, someone like an Kasparian. And Islamism, and the reason why that's growing in the West is because it fills the vacuum of the meaningless secularism. And so many people say, you know, we do believe that, for example, dressing modestly is an important value. But then kind of the Islamic world can take that to one extreme, and the secular world can take that to the opposite extreme. The role of the Jewish people is actually to be a light to the nations, to show the right way. Often, by the way, the Jewish way is the middle path. You know, whether it comes to modesty, whether it comes to all kinds of things. Judaism and the Torah always provided that wonderful balance. And actually, you found that other religions could take things to other extremes, too lenient, too harsh. And so I think the Jewish people and Israel our destined role is actually to be a different voice in the conversation, to be a light to the nations, to bring that voice of Torah to the world. That's what we're always destined to be. And I want to finish my video by turning around and showing you this spectacular view. Look at this. This is Jerusalem, the hills of Judea, and in the background you can see the Knesset. But we long for a day when there's going to be another building built in this city, and that will be the third temple, where truly Israel will finally come into her full role as light to the nations and providing that path for all humanity to join and connect to. So look at that. That is just absolutely incredible.
A quick message. We all hear about the Palestinian displacement, or Nakba, of 1948. But you know, there was another, even greater displacement that we haven't been told about. Nearly 1 million Jews were expelled from Arab lands at the exact same time. Watch the trailer for our new and absolutely essential documentary called The Real Nakba. And if you want to watch the full film, just click the link below in the video description. We've all been told about the Nakba, the Palestinian catastrophe of 1948. Around 700,000 Arabs were displaced. But here's what you're rarely told. That displacement didn't come from some Jewish plan for genocide. It wasn't Israel's goal. It wasn't Israel's desire. It happened because Arab leaders launched a war of annihilation. They tried to wipe out the newborn Jewish state, vowing to drive the Jews into the sea. And in the chaos of that war, people fled. Many because their leaders told them to, promising they'd return after victory. But the term Nakba was originally used to describe the fact that the Arabs lost the war, not the displacement. Now the term describes the displacement of war used as a political weapon against Israel. But you know, there was another Nakba you haven't been told about. A catastrophe rooted not in the fog of war, but in the clear, deliberate desire for persecution and genocide. It happened at the very same time, and it led to even more displacement. Yet most of the world has never heard of it. Over 850,000 Jews, more than the number of displaced Arabs, were driven from their homes across the Arab world. Communities that had thrived for millennia were uprooted overnight. Families stripped of citizenship, of property, of dignity, assaulted, expelled, forced to flee with nothing but their faith. Why? Because they were Jews. Because Israel dared to exist. Because the Arab League openly orchestrated it, drafting plans in 1947 to freeze Jewish bank accounts, seize property, and intern Jews as enemy nationals. This is the real Nakba, a catastrophe born of pure anti-Semitism. In this JTV documentary, we'll journey country by country, from Baghdad to Cairo, From Sana'a to Tripoli, uncovering buried truths and survivor voices. And no, this isn't a tale of victimhood, it's a saga of endurance, courage, and triumph. Because the Jewish people didn't just survive this Nakba, we rebuilt. We came home. In Israel, our phoenix soared from the ashes. So buckle up and let's dive in. To watch this JTV Plus documentary and access much more premium content, click on the link in the video description.